Alicia Keys, Paul Banks from Interpol, and Seal all sit down at a table at a cafe to have lunch. The waitress takes their orders, but then returns with 3 incorrect plates of food, having misheard what they said. Alicia Keys did not order a wet dream tomato. Paul Banks did not repeatedly say chicken wing, chicken wing, chicken wing, although reportedly Seal's bowl of dictionary he can't deny. Mondegreens have been passed through convos about our favourite songs for yonks, but I'm not here for goofs and gaffs today. I've sometimes misheard lyrics that actually improved how I view the song, actually given me a different perspective to come away with. In certain cases, I'll even look at the original lyrics and come away a tad disappointed that it really wasn't that deep after all. Some are just doses of wordplay that very likely could have been intentional in context, like Nas with the spliff that he lift and inhaled.
From the spliff that I lift and inhale, it ain't hard to tell.
Or built a spell on Carry the Zero, I'm waiting for your guard to fall. But I prefer ones that are contestable. For example, on Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, the most profoundly beautiful slice of overwrought, cheesy 80s rock. It'd make more sense that the final verse starts with "Some'll win, some'll lose," but the song's sun-soaked end credits of a movie speeding down the highway sensation makes me naturally mishear the lyrics as "Some will win, some will lose." It's like a snapshot of an endless summer. It goes on and on and on. Oh, going back to Seal's Kiss from a Rose, actually. Profoundly stunning bit of misdirection there. You have the romantic notion of kissing a rose, but then Seal pulls the rug out from underneath you, and you're left with this image of death. The flower was really resting on a tombstone. But then you realize the lyric was actually a kiss from a rose on the grey. What the fuck is the grey? I'm not saying the colour grey can't be evocative, but it's a bit vague, mate. Similar case for Human by The Killers, which is probably the most infamously confounding chorus lyric ever. Are we human? Or are we dancer? I will be real, I never found this song too confusing. I always assumed that the question was meant to be as if it was asked by a robot. And the song runs on this dance beat that is pulsing and anticipatory. So it's implying that yes, it's one thing to be capital H human, but it's another thing to be able to accept sensuality and freedom in spirit and become capital D dancer. Which is why the misheard lyric, "Are we human? Or are we dancer?" whether intentional or not, makes the song even better. The pop band Phoenix were a bunch of French guys doing an impression of American indie pop music, so they have a goldmine of potentially mishearable lyrics on their 2009 album Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix. By the way, truly one of the best pop albums we're ever going to get this century. But then you look at the original lyrics and find out that they were always nonsensical anyways. So Thomas Mars singing "Too late, too late, too late, chocolate" isn't much weirder than what he actually sings, "Do let, do let, do let, jugulate." Instead, let's look to their song 1901, a raging single that sounds like it was actually made by an American pop band. So it always made sense to me that Thomas Mars sounds like he's gleefully adapting American slang on the chorus. It's not a miracle we need it, but no, I wouldn't let you think so. Alas, the real lyric is "fold it." I prefer mine. Speaking of American pop from the 2000s, it'd be kind of rude not to mention The Strokes and Julian Casablancas' naive but kind of sexy refusal to pronounce words properly. The song "You Only Live Once" had a general theme of things not being as they seem, which made this nonsense lyric seem to make a little bit of sense. I thought he was babbling on about being desensitized to violence and wrongdoing or something like that. You know, the romantic cliche notion of summertime causing us to see the world through rose-tinted lenses, therefore equating the awful boom of a shotgun to singing. The real lyric is "I can't see the sunshine," which, yeah, that makes more sense. But the other one, I could imagine Jules scowling that on a track these days. Remember the song "Some Nights" by Fun, Jack Antonoff's old band? Pretty epic song about finality, war, trauma, death, the end of it all. During one of the song's many sections, Nate Ruess goes on this stream of consciousness type ramble and then ends it all by yelling, and this is the actual lyric, by the way.
No, when I see stars, when I see stars, that's all they are. When I hear songs, they sound like a swan, so come on.
A swan makes poetic sense if you think about the phrase swan song, but it's also a reference to a song that Nate Ruess did back in the day titled Swans. But I always misheard it pretty sensibly as, when I hear songs, they sound like this one. And I don't know, that always kind of cemented the song as this powerful anthem of finality, as if to say, this song that you are hearing right now is what I hear on the brink of death. So come on. On Radiohead's Present Tense, a song about knowing that you've got to say goodbye but being afraid to, Thom Yorke describes denying what's happening to him by shutting his eyes, getting lost in one last dance before he has to acknowledge that his world is crumbling around him. 2.5 minutes in, the song seems to have realized something. It shifts tone, it comes to an epiphany. Thom Yorke speaks up after a while. He says, while that is powerful, for the longest time I thought he was singing an unfinished sentence. This one. Consider this imaginary lyric in conjunction with the previous lines about avoiding facing the truth. As my world comes crashing down, I'll be dancing, freaking out, deaf, dumb, and blind. You are not. I thought it was the narrator acknowledging that while the other person has long since moved on, he cannot. My last example here was pretty radical, I'm not gonna lie. It changed the meaning of an entire song. It was Sometimes by Britney Spears. Here's the real lyrics on the chorus. Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared of you, but all I really want is to hold you tight, treat you right, be with you day and night. Baby, all I need is time. It is about being with a partner and being hesitant or afraid to open up. But you know what? For way too long, I thought it was about two parents who are falling out of love, arguing all the time, but keeping it together just so they can raise their child healthily. So here's how I heard it.
Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide, sometimes I'm scared of you, but all I really want is to hold you tight, treat you right, be with you day and night, baby, all I need is time.
Even though I was nowhere close, I haven't really let that diminish the power of the song. In fact, I still think it's beautiful and profound. And to be honest, language is so shapeable and ambiguous that hey, even if it wasn't intentional, why couldn't I love the song for letting me interpret it that way? Why couldn't Summer Wind fit onto Don't Stop Believin'? Jimi Hendrix probably did kiss the guy.